if you look at the current internet sales, e-commerce sales in Europe, the latest numbers I've seen is about 125 billion euro. Over the next 5 years, the estimates are that this will increase by more than 50% to about 190, 200 billion. The other number I've seen is in UK, France, and Germany, every billion of additional retail sales, online retail sales, has a corresponding demand of about 70,000 square meters of warehousing. So if you do the math, on the low end, you get a number of about 5.5 to 6 million square meters of additional net demand that this space is going to create. And that's on the low end. Some of the advisors have come out and said 25 to 30 million square meters of additional net demand as a result of increased internet sales over the next 5 years in Europe. So whether you take the 5 or 6 million or the 25 million, it will have an impact on our sector, clearly. So it's a space to watch, and personally I'm doing my part to help internet sales grow in Europe. I'm doing a lot more online shopping this year than last year. So, and I noticed it at the office as well. I mean, probably half the parcels that are delivered into our office are internet purchases made by my colleagues. So, I mean, we're all shopping a lot more. So it's a sector that's going to impact our business, it's going to impact our customers, and it's an important driver of demand going forward.
And from your experience in the States, is there something that one can learn from what's happened there to what's happening in the UK and then maybe on? Are there any signs from there, or are the markets very similar now?
Well, I think the number of households and individuals buying online in the US is still far ahead of the Eurozone. UK is catching up and closer, but the rest of Europe, there's still a high amount of penetration to be made in terms of online purchasing. And as you see, you look at Amazon, I mean, they're setting up big mega centers in Poland, Czech Republic, trying to serve, Germany, and, they see growth in those markets. So certainly continental Europe will see a lot more increased sales in terms of online.
Okay, good. James, you wanted to come in on that?
No, I think just making the quick comparison with the US, not just specific to e-commerce and the development that's happened there, but just generally looking at the logistics market, a lot of money and investment and I guess the big joint ventures and things that have happened this year, over the last year, a lot of that's been driven by North American money. I think there are all sorts of structural reasons in how that market works, but also just looking at a comparison at logistics, they've seen rapid yield compression in the sector. Yields are in the mid-5s now in the US. They're back to kind of getting close to cyclical peaks. As an aside, e-commerce units over there, and my colleagues at CBRE are one of the major traders of Amazon-type facilities in the US. Those trade at prime yields within their relative market. So if the prime yield's 5.5, Amazon units, for example, in the US are trading at 5.5. There's, I guess, potentially a more familiar investor group over there with logistics and with that operation in particular, who are also looking at Europe. The spread between US and European yields is 170 basis points. Average is about 50, I think. On a long run average, I think spreads from UK prime logistics yields compared to current European yields still show there's a decent margin there, and the spread over bonds, I think Richard was saying, is 550, 580 basis points. I think at the last peak, the spread was about 250 to 270. So on all those metrics, there's still gap in that spread on any of those relativities, I think.
Okay, good.
I was going to say the thing about it is we've all touched on it. It's so rapidly evolving. I think Mo was talking about the varying shapes that keep changing. You've got to have an eye. It's changing so quickly. You don't want to be buying buildings or creating buildings that are going to be obsolete in a very short period of time. It's a very rapid evolution.